got enough light?
Yes.
I could do without my glasses.
See.
Let's have Naomi sit there. If she's likely to go into a trance.
Let me see, because the lighting changes. Can you see? So Marge?
What?
I just want to see how the lighting is for all of you. So I have a.
What do you want me to do, Aunt?
First thing I thought for the society would be really good to have some induction, some material, how you do hypnosis, how you go about putting somebody into a trance. It would be one of the first things that I know the people would like to see.
What time is it now?
1:15.
I think there's another subject coming who will be willing to be videotaped.
Oh, fine.
They come in Tucson.
Sit up. Yeah.
Okay, we can start.
I should begin now.
Yes?
Yes, we can go.
First thing about a hypnotic technique is the attitude of the operator. He should manifest an air of confidence. He should have no doubt at all. His entire bearing should be one of complete confidence and full expectation. There's no reason to be doubtful about yourself because you're not doing trance induction yourself. Your patient is responding by going into a trance. And it's all up to the patient, not to the operator. The operator can only furnish a favorable climate for the trance to begin. So you uncross your legs, put both feet on the floor, your arms up against your chest, and resting at that. And now look at the far corner of that vigilance up there. Just look in that direction. You don't need to talk. You don't need to move. And while you're not moving, not talking, I'm going to remind you of something that happened a long time ago. I first went to school and were confronted with the task of learning to write the letters of the alphabet. It looked to you like a horrendous task. A very great big job. Very difficult. All those different shapes and forms. I was complicated by the fact that printed letters, written letters, capital letters, small letters. Slowly, gradually, you formed a visual mental image. A visual mental image located somewhere in your brain. Located there permanently. Only you didn't know that it was being located in your brain permanently. And while I've been talking to you, your respiratory rate has changed, your heart rate has changed, your motor tones has changed, your blood pressure has changed, your motor reflexes have changed. And when next I say the word now, your eyes will close now. And stay closed. And I'm going to give you a task to do. There are many things you can do at an unconscious level, at a trance level. After a while, I don't know how soon, you'll have to wait and find out. One of your hands is going to lift up. Maybe both. Maybe the right, maybe the left. Just which hand, you don't know yet. And soon you'll know. And slowly begin to lift up toward your face and move more and more rapidly. And soon you'll feel that your hand itself wants to lift. You've got nothing to do with it. Your hand wants to lift. And it will lift up higher and higher. There'll be a little jerk. And then another. And lifting. And you won't really know whether it's right, left, or both. There's a little jerk there, soon there'll be another little jerk. You have to wait. Your elbow will bend, your wrist will lift, your hand will lift. Up it comes, higher and higher. That's right, another jerk. Soon it'll be all the way off your leg. Coming up. Now some subjects respond quickly, others respond slowly. It's a learning process to go into a trance. And you give the patient or the subject all the time they need. And they are getting acquainted with aspects of their living about which they know very little. Now what he's demonstrating is he has not fully let loose of conscious awareness. He's too desirous of being effective. Instead of relinquishing all interest and letting his hands move. Have I spoken rightly? Sooner or later your head will nod yes. And you'll notice that the separation, the head movement. The ordinary head movement, yes. The hypnotic, now pretty soon you will know that your hand is going to lift. He's rather tense. His falling reflex indicates his tension. You want so much to learn, and look right on the videotape instead of forgetting about it. That's all right. You all have to learn our own way. Margie, do you realize you're in a trance already? Naomi, you're in a trance. You know it, don't you? Well, you know it as soon as your eyes close and stay closed. And your head will begin to lift. Maybe you felt that slight movement. I'm going to lift your hand. You touch the patient's hand in wrist in various places. You let loose and maintain pressure in one area, and you shift to the hand and you touch very gently, very softly, and you make a little pressure this way, or you lessen pressure, and the hand will move accordingly. And you touch in several places and keep changing it until finally the patient doesn't know when you have ceased touching his hand. And you get catalepsy. Now, some patients have difficulty learning to develop catalepsy, to levitate. As soon as your elbow is going to bend, your hand will start moving toward your face. Up it comes. Another little jerk. Another. The conscious way of lifting your hand is a smooth movement. And you'll notice that this is a jerky movement, because that's the way the person levitates the hand, in the irregular, jerky fashion. You're going to touch your face, I don't know just where, and then it'll appear to you that your hand is glued to your face. Always there. Getting closer. Getting closer. And your hand will stick to your face. And slowly, gradually, you'll become aware that you can't take your hand away from your face. It seems to have a will all its own and wants to cling to your face. And you can try to move your face away from your hand, but it won't. Your hand will follow, or you won't be able to move your head away. The other hand is going to lift. Coming up. Coming up. Coming up. Coming higher. Your hand is lifting more and more rapidly. It's going to reach your face. And you will know that you can't move your hand down. It just stays there. And the only way you can move it down is to reach up with your right hand, take hold of it, and force it down. Your right hand is going to want to do that. It's going to insist on doing that. Up goes your hand, Marge. Up higher, higher. Up. And there's a question that you don't know about in your mind, Margie. Your unconscious doesn't know whether to move your right hand or your left hand. There's a debate going on. And it's going to be a question of competition between your hands. And your hand, right hand, is going to reach up. Take hold of your wrist and force your left hand down. You'll have to force it. You're seeing one type of learning here, where the initial wound is difficult to begin. Touching your hand. Going to reach over and grasp your wrist, your left wrist, and force it down. And it won't be easy. And you're observing a lack of body orientation. He really doesn't know where his left wrist is. And he doesn't really know how to get his hands over his wrist. It takes time and effort. In other words, he has body orientation. It was pull harder. Pull harder. And now very slowly, I'd like to have you open your eyes just a wee bit, very little, and look at your hands and see only your hand, and close your eyes immediately and open them again a wee bit, and again see just your hand. You got to have practice in learning how to see just your hand. And keep opening, closing your eyes and looking until finally you see just your head. In the case of Marjorie, she demonstrated very thoroughly a lack of body orientation. What the average psychotherapist doesn't know is that people have some very faulty images of themselves. They don't really know what they look like. They don't really know the feeling of the various parts of their body. They grow up thinking my hands I had. A recent study made a series of subjects are shown photographs of hands, and they didn't know that among the photographs are photographs of their own hands, and they failed to recognize their own hands. They sometimes fail to recognize a photograph of their face. A study was made at Harvard some 30, 40 years ago, in which Harvard students are photographed and tape recorded, and they're asked to look at a whole series of photographs, and the operator divided the negative in two halves and used a negative side of the negative on one side and a positive side of the negative on the other half, and printed the entire face. They couldn't recognize their face when there are two right halves, two left halves, one negative side of the face and the other a positive side. People really don't know what they look like because they've seen mirror images of themselves. And for you to really grasp that, hold some printed material up to a mirror and try to read it. You find out how very difficult it is to recognize words. Marjorie, your hands are going to move up toward your mouth. Up toward your mouth. All the way up. And move rapidly. It's your right hand that's going to lift up. Are you practicing opening and looking at your hands and seeing nothing but your hands? And nod your head when you can see only your hands but nothing else. Now, when you want to explore the phenomenon of deep hypnosis, you often have to give yourself practice time in learning. Up to your mouth, bending the elbow, lifting the wrist, bending the elbow still more. Now, an important thing to bear in mind when you're dealing with subjects who have poor body orientation. You didn't learn where your ears were because your parents taught you to touch your forehead, your nose, your eyes, your mouth, your chin, your ears. You had to do the separate learning. The learning to touch your ear and then reach across your face, touch the opposite ear, the contralateral ear. And then learning it with the other hand was much more rapidly achieved. And you didn't really know where your ears were because you learned it from down up and from up down. That only located your ears in that relationship. There had to be a time when accidentally you touch your ear, the contralateral ear, from above, over the top of your head. And if you watch the baby's face when it first does that, you see the startled look on the face. The baby still doesn't know where the ear is really located until someday, accidentally, it reaches behind its head and feels its ear. Then the baby really knows where the ear is. If you watch infants, they learn to recognize a noise in front of them. At first, they hear a noise and they look. They don't know where it is. Look all around. And they begin to recognize a noise in front of them. And they discover the noise isn't in front of them. Yeah, maybe it's over to the right or to the left. It's a much harder job to learn to recognize a sound, that the sound comes from behind you. And the last bit of learning is to recognize a sound that comes from below you and from above you. It's a long, slow process of learning. And both this gentleman and Margie are demonstrating a very extensive lack of body orientation. He was here once before, last spring, at which time I noticed his lack of body orientation. Now the next step in training a soldier is to thank him and tell him take your time and wake up. You'll find it difficult. You'll make the effort of waking. Awaken feeling fine. That's right. Awaken still more awake. Finally your eyes will open widely. I know you don't want to wake up. Now look at that piece of driftwood over there. All right. Our purpose of asking them to look at that piece of driftwood is to distract them, because when you distract them, you bring about an amnesia. It's the best way of producing an amnesia. You're conversing with somebody, telephone rings, you answer that brief call, hang up the receiver, and then you turn to your person you were talking to. What was that I was talking about? You develop instant amnesia. And so you employ that principle. Now, do you think you're awake?
Yeah.
You sure?
I still feel very relaxed.
Are you sure you're awake? I don't think so.
Feels like that.
You're really not awake.
What?
You're really not awake. All of you know the uncertain blink, the delayed lid blink. That's right. And you keep wanting to close your eyes.
Yeah, I enjoyed the trance.
And you see the struggle to remain awake. Your eyes are going to close. You notice I had no doubt in my voice at all. He had his doubts. He had to struggle with his doubts. And he's still tense. This time, I want to do as before. Your hand is going to lift up toward your face, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way. You can literally see the improved learning. A much quicker locating of his face. And now your left hand is going to lift up and force your right hand down. And a parallel of this learning is watching children learning to write for the first time. They try to write a letter, and you'll see their feet scoring, their shoulders moving, their head, the other shoulder moving, body twisting, feet moving uncertainly, and facial grimaces as they try to write the letter. Here you see the groping movements, the uncertainty. Are we alone, Marty?
Kind of. Kind of.
Kind of alone. Close your eyes, and next time you open them, you'll be more alone. And Naomi, I want you to take your time and slowly awaken from the neck up while your body remains asleep. Just from the neck up, while your body remains asleep. Isn't it an interesting feeling that you don't want to? And keep your eyes open. Let your head be wide awake. And your body sound asleep. And discover that you really don't know how to move your arms or your legs. You don't know how to stand up. You see the groping movements of her hand. She's trying. Get in touch with her hands. And Margie, soon you'll open your eyes and we will be much more alone. How does it feel? Have your body asleep, Naomi?
Feels like it's not there.
What's that?
Feels almost like it's not there.
It feels as if it were not there. And doing experimental work with something is often much slower than working with patients who have an unconscious purpose to be served. These subjects have a conscious purpose to be served. They want to learn, which interferes and makes them slower. When they have an unconscious purpose that they want served, they learn more rapidly. But you can learn more about the phenomena by using experimental subjects. When do you think you'll discover you have a right hand, Naomi?
I guess I could look at it.
What's that?
I guess I could look at it.
And that, of course, is an infantile utterance. Only Naomi doesn't realize it. A baby has to look to see if he has a hand. He has to look to see if he has a foot. But an adult, they just know it. They don't have to look and see. You realize, of course, that Naomi is not fully awake. There's hypnotic passions, a rigidity of facial expression. And then you'll see normal eyeball movements, and more often you see the hypnotic rigidities of eyeball movements. And we've all learned since childhood to turn and look when you're spoken to. I talk to Naomi, she hears me, Doesn't even turn her eyeballs toward me. Are you discovering what hard work it is to keep your eyes open, Naomi? It's a nice thing to discover. You watch a nursing baby, nearly done nursing. I begin open, shut, more and more slowly, and finally they close. I was speaking about a baby, and I said close. Now he's being more and more, going deeper and deeper into trance. And we are alone, aren't we, Marty? Are we not? And Naomi, do you now know when your eyes are open, there were times when you didn't see anything? Your eyes were open, but you weren't seeing anything. That's when her eyes were open and her eyeballs did not move. Frank Petty, Professor Emeritus, University of Kentucky, had a good somnambulist subject who had her eyes open, wide open, and Frank affixed markers to her eyelids, and he had a movie camera that ran continuously, and in 4 hours that girl did not blink once, and her cornea did not get dry. Strasburg of New York had a subject with a head in a vice, so it couldn't move the head, and he focused a high-power microscope on the cornea and conjunctiva union, where they meet. And through the high-power microscope, you can see the capillaries. And at the junction of the cornea with the conjunctiva, the capillaries are in the shape of palisade arcades. And as a person goes into a trance, you get the palisades and arcades flattening out to a flat line, which indicates that there's a change in the shape of the eyeball. The eyeball flattens. And because it flattens, you don't need to blink to get the lacrimal fluid to moisten the eye. It just flows over that flat surface. Mr. Erickson and I were walking down the street in New York City. We came to the Corning Glass building. And to our astonishment, the window panes were not visible. I stopped to look, and all the windows, there was no window panes. Then we realized it's the invisible glass. And we tried our level best to see the glass. We couldn't. Mr. Erickson, I think I'll go into an auto-hypnotic trance and see how the building looks. And in the auto-hypnotic trance, with the frightening of her eyeballs, she was able to see the window pane as clearly as you do when you're waking. You look at a window. And I view those window panes ticking on the corners, the bottom, the top. But I unable to see the window pane. And she saw it very plain. Came out of trance and they're gone now. And he went back in trance and the window pane became visible to her. And now your hand will slowly lift up toward your face. And do so suddenly and rapidly. Quickly. Up your face now. Up. Up. You'll notice just by directing my voice toward him, made him respond. And now you can awaken. Awaken. Open your eyes. Put your hand up to your face quickly. Hold your head out like this. Look at your thumbnail. And notice that it keeps coming closer and closer to your face. By the time your thumb touches your face, you'll be in a deep trance. Sometimes in a group, you'll have somebody who'll become somnambulistic, all of them. And some you see, every member of the group shows insufficient body orientation. Other groups you'll see very excessive body orientation. The presence of the group has a great deal to do with it. Now, he went into a trance the first day, and he demonstrated thoroughly a lack of body orientation. As I knew he would, because in ordinary waking behavior, he shows an absence of body orientation. A certain aloofness about him, a certain holding back, that's natural to him. And the entire group sensed that. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they took their first lesson from him. And would you like to awaken from the neck up? Go ahead, awaken from the neck up. Now, why did you awaken?
I couldn't tell who you were talking to.
Huh?
I couldn't tell who you were talking to.
Now, I was directing my voice toward those two, and he couldn't tell to whom I was talking. In other words, location of sound is learned so unrealizingly that when a given situation arises, they can manifest it. There was something wrong with tone of my voice when I was speaking to them. He couldn't quite make it out, so he opened his eyes to see what was going on. You still think you're awake now, don't you?
Not as much.
Not as much.
I'm joking.
Would you like to get acquainted with your body, Naomi?
Feels like it's more here.
What's that?
It feels like it's more here than the rest of the
You feel like it's more here.
It feels heavy.
What part is more here?
My left forearm.
Your left forearm. What is the next part?
The rest of that arm.
What's that?
That arm, the rest of that arm and the shoulder.
Where's the arm and the shoulder? Has movement returned?
I'm not trying to move it.
What's that?
I'm not trying to move it.
You're not sure you can move it. Which arm do you think you'll be able to move first?
Left.
Which one?
Left.
Left. You sure of that?
No. I think I moved my other arm before. Yeah, I moved my other arm.
What's that?
I moved my other arm before.
When do you think you get elbow movement? I think all of you thought you get elbow movement this way. Yeah, this way. That's elbow movement. This is arm movement. The way the hypnotic subject can be literal is amazing. Now, which leg do you want to come back first? Your left. Any reason for the left side?
I have some trouble with it sometimes.
What's that?
I've had some trouble with it sometimes.
Yeah, what?
I've had some trouble with it. So like that.
That's in trouble with it. Having movement come back in your left arm, your left leg, so that it feels very comfortable. Feels different, doesn't it?
My hands still feel warm.
And you're watching Naomi do something classical. And Margaret Mead and Gregory Bates and Jane Below went to Bali in 1937. And they spent 3 years there. Margaret Mead took notes on everything. Gregory Bateson did the photographic work, and Jane Below worked on dreams among the ballerinas. Before Dr. Mead went to Bali, she corresponded with me extensively for 3 years, asking searching questions about hypnosis and auto-hypnosis in the Occidental. So I informed her fully about Occidental hypnosis. And she got to Bali, it was for the purpose of studying a culture in which auto-hypnosis plays a large part. And when she returned after 3 years studied there, he brought with her some movie films. And she asked me to have somebody who was intelligent but had no knowledge of hypnosis view those films and make a commentary on them. And she wanted separately someone who was a good hypnotic subject to view the films and make a commentary on them. And she wanted me to make a separate commentary on the film. Now, the intelligent person who viewed the film and had no knowledge of hypnosis, the two girls are dancing. Marguerite asked anything in particular about the bigger girl or the smaller girl? You know, just having a good time dancing. And then part of the film where a man was crossing a vacant lot. The commentators said that man is crossing a vacant lot. He's walking along slowly, at an even pace. I reached the other side, walking down the street. All the comments were of that character. The hypnotic subject who viewed the films was Mrs. Arrington. And she said, two little girls are dancing. A bigger one is in a trance. Now she's waking up. Now they're both awake. Now the smaller girl is going into trance, they're still dancing. And now the big girl has joined the little girl in the trance state. And they seem to be enjoying the dance in both the waking and the trance state. It came to the pilot film where the man was crossing the street. The man was wide awake. He was starting across that lot. Well, he's going in a trance. By the time he reaches the middle of that vacant lot, he'll be in a deep trance. Now he's there, he's in a deep trance. And he's continuing to cross the lot, and he's beginning to awaken. By the time he reaches the other side of that vacant lot, he'll be wide awake. And Margaret Mead's notes agreed. Now, people are socialized. A visitor will drop into a trance and socialize, may come out of the trance, and the host may drop into an auto-hypnotic trance, or they both may go into an auto-hypnotic trance and have their conversation in the trance state. A man being tried for murder knows the situation is out of his hands. He goes in auto-hypnotic trance and sleeps restfully, comfortably, while the lawyers and the judge and the jury take care of the matter in hand. He doesn't need to know what's going on. He'll find out at the end of the trial. There's no worry about that. You did lift your hand up to your face. You know when you did it? You know why you did it? You don't know why? Now you do? Well, you see, you didn't know earlier. How long do you think you'll keep your hand there?
I don't know.
Do you realize you can't put it down? Certainly by dinner time tonight you'll want your hand down, won't you? You gonna wait until dinner time? Are you able to stand up yet, Naomi?
I'm starting to move my other side.
What's that?
I'm starting to move my other side. Sounds keeping me from
Confusing, isn't it? You know, I use that for women having babies. Produces sacral block. You can't stand up, they can't move their legs, and they don't feel any pain. It's fairly easily done. And a baby's about to arrive. It's useful information. Long before my daughter Betty Alice, well, I hypnotized her when she was 10 years old. And she was able to accomplish a lot of things. Of course, for several years, she was in college, in fact. she could do any hypnotic thing except develop anesthesia. And I was using her as a demonstration subject in Detroit. I asked her to develop anesthesia, and she said, "You know I can't tell you. That's impossible for me." I said, "Well, I agree. And so let's do something else. Just a phenomenon of dissociation will be fascinating. So see yourself sitting over there on the other side of the room." And she hallucinated herself being over there. And of course I directed my voice. She's sitting right in front of me. I was standing up. While she was hallucinating herself being over there, I took a small strand of hair and lifted her off the seat. She didn't notice it. She was over there. How could she possibly feel pain here when she was over there? And the others were very surprised. And then after I had her come back, sit in the chair, I had her remember what had happened. And she said, "That was a dirty trick, Daddy. You never took a hypnotic subject." I think I was justified. Someday you may marry, and someday you may have a baby, and you may want the hypnotic anesthesia I've just taught you. And you were too stubborn to learn the proper way, so I caused you to dissociate, and thus taught you anesthesia. She said, "I forgive you." Many years later, he entered the delivery room at Luke Air Base. No, yeah, Luke Air, not Luke, Nellis Air Base in Nevada. And she came in, and said to the obstetrician, "You don't have to worry about anesthesia, Dr. Jones. You don't have to be nervous because you were a student of my daddy." On the delivery table, the lower half of my body will belong to you. Only the upper half will belong to me. And she proceeded to entertain the delivery room personnel accounts of her teaching experiences in Australia. All mistakes she made. Finally, Dr. Jones said, "Don't you want to know what it is, Betty Alice?" He turned and looked. "Oh, it's a boy. Give him to me. I'm like all other mothers. I want to count the fingers and the toes." The upper half of her body was hers. The lower half belonged to the doctor. So if there's any pain, he had it. She didn't have it. I told my daughters-in-law the same thing. I saw her that morning. I left for a Wisconsin lecture. And in Milwaukee, I got a telephone call from her stating, "I had my baby this afternoon. I know you didn't think it would arrive for a couple of weeks, and I didn't either, but it came this afternoon. I called the doctors. I made arrangements with them for home delivery. And when they arrived, I told them I was having my abdominal contractions at fairly rapid intervals. And then her face, her expression changed. He went in all hypnotic trance. He had a uterine contraction. And so was she awakened from trance. Now she told the doctor, when you saw the episiotomy, I want to count the stitches. And so the doctor told her, I'm going to sew the episiotomy now, and you count the stitches aloud. And I said 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And we asked her to describe the stitches. He said it was like putting a needle through a thick blanket. And that's all, just a needle going through a thick blanket. That's the way it felt to her. She had her wisdom teeth surgically removed. She purchased her own anesthesia and her own capillary control. So the next day, young Burton dentist, who didn't know anything about hypnosis, was surprised when she came in for a checkup visit. He said, well, what's wrong? Your face isn't swollen. He said, it didn't need to be swollen. I had no pain. I have no pain now. And I let my gums bleed a reasonable amount, and I stopped the bleeding. Did you enjoy putting your hand down? When did you know your hand was down?
A little while ago.
A little while. Was it all the way down before you knew it?
I have one question. Did you put me in a trance the first couple days?
Oh, yes. You've been in and out of trances every day. Did you know you're going to close your eyes and go into trance right now? When you get around to it, you can open your eyes and wake up. How long do you think you can keep them open? Not very long. Now you see what doubt does. That's why the operator should have the doubts, because he knows what direction to doubt. And attitude of expectation. And his eyes were closed. And stay closed. This attitude of expectation and confidence. Can you stand up now, Naomi? Can you sit down? How do you like that momentary doubt? You know what you're going to do later today?
Maybe not everything I'm going to do later. I know some of the things I'm going to do later.
Some things you're going to do that you don't know about?
Certainly possible. Even likely.
The thing that flashed across your mind yesterday?
Yeah.
Do you mind telling what that thought was?
I'm going to bake a pie.
Hmm?
You're going to bake a pie.
Or the other thought?
The other part of what I'm going to do today.
Hmm?
The other thought of what I'm going to do today.
That you thought yesterday. Yeah, it flashed across your mind very briefly.
Do you mean at the end of the session yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Do you mind telling?
Well, I felt scared at that point.
Hmm?
I felt scared.
Why?
I think I was scared of you leaving.
A what?
I was scared of you leaving.
And what was the other thought?
Scared of me leaving.
And what was the other thought?
Feeling kind of helpless about it.
Hmm?
Feeling helpless about it.
About what?
About your health, about your coming and going. About my coming and going.
What else? And tell you, give you an account of something happened a long time ago. I was in college, and one of my college mates was majoring in art and psychology. And he encountered a fortune teller. A fortune teller told him his father's first name, his mother's first name, named his siblings, told him the name of the high school he had attended, and Harold thought that was absolutely phenomenal. I said, all right, Harold, I'll go with you to that fortune teller. I will have an envelope in my inside jacket pocket. After we've gone to the fortune teller, you keep your face blank. Don't be startled by anything. Something unusual will happen. So I asked the fortune teller and tell my fortune. And gave me father's first name, mother's first name, gave me the numbers, my siblings, named them. And told me the name of the high school I attended, the village near which I lived. I lived on a farm. I thanked him, walked away, and I took that seal envelope out of my jacket pocket, handed it to Harold. He opened it, because my fortune teller had given the wrong name for my father, the wrong name for mother, the wrong siblings, wrong names for all my siblings, the wrong name of my high school, wrong name of the village I lived near. And he did have, I grew up on a farm. And I said, now how could he have given you all those wrong names? And when I asked him for my father's name, I moved my lips in a certain way. And I said, promise to myself. He was a good lip reader. He read every wrong name that I thought of. And Harold had the proof of it from that envelope. Now, you know what you did when you said pie? What kind of pie is it?
Something's probably gonna be apple.
You like apple pie? What kind of apple pie?
Well, have you decided on yet? You can have some nuts in it.
Hmm?
Can have some nuts in it, and maybe some cranberries and other assorted strange things.
It's one him. So who him? Philosopher and playwright George Bernard Shaw, who said, and ladies will always speak of things that run in the head like lice. Now, when you watch a lady, you watch her lips, you notice what thoughts are running through her head. What are you talking about, Margie?
Wondering if you can read thoughts.
I shouldn't, should I?
It's okay if you keep them to yourself.
There's a sudden bright look in your eyes, Naomi.
Thinking about that pie.
Dr. Erickson, let me briefly come back to the beginning of the session when you talked about the air of confidence. What I would like to know is, would you at any given point relate your doubt about where the trance would be going, or the therapeutic process as a whole? Would you relate to a patient, a client, or a subject that you are in doubt about where it's going?
No. But I let him doubt in the direction I want him to go. When I want him to go in trance, I can doubt that he can stay awake. You want to tell that thought?
It's just gone. I was just thinking that that's a nice way to have doubts, having them in the way that serves you.
Yeah, it serves the purpose of the patient. I doubt if you can keep your hands in your lap. Did you get him?
Yep.
Thank you very much.